Tattoo Tinker Art Studio. My name is Nile Fahmy and I'm a coppersmith. This little video is to give you an introduction to our studio and show you what we do. So let's get started with what is a coppersmith. The word smith comes from the term smite, to strike down, or to strike. And that's exactly what we do. All of our jewelry and sculpture are smith, they're forged. It means that a piece of metal is taken and it's worked by hammer and anvil to bring it into shape or designs. You can see here one of selections of our hammers. And our hammers that we use range from large mallets to smaller ball peens, leather hammers, and even some homemade hammers out of our local Utah railroad spikes. Each one of these hammers does something different. It moves the metal in a different way. And we're going to give you a short little introduction into smithing and forging, so that way you can look at the end product, look at our pieces, and maybe even trace back and say, oh, I think I saw how we did that. I can see that in the metal. I like to say that each hammer is like a little footprint. It leaves a little mark behind the smith. So let's start off with looking at the peen of a hammer. So this is a combination peen hammer, or it's a plumb hammer. Okay? You see here, this is called a cross peen. This hammer moves the metal this way and this way only. So this is really great if I want to go down and stretch a piece of metal longer. So if I strike it like this, the metal pinches and stretches. Now I'll hold that up. You can see those vertical marks, right, match the shape of the hammer. So if you look at the back, this is called a straight peen. Okay? And if I turn it and hold it naturally, this peen is going to make the metal move this way and this way. So this is the type of peen I'd be using if I want to make something broader. So I'll go right underneath that last mark that I did. And I'll hold that up so you can see. So you can see how that's broadened the piece out. And again, it matches the shape of the hammer. So with each hammer that we have, whether it's a straight peen or a ball peen, you can see how the shape of the hammer will affect the shape of the metal. And those are kind of little, tells a little story about how the piece was made. Now, each one of these hammers here, each plays a crucial part in my work and what we do here at the studio. I couldn't, I could probably make it work with less, but the work wouldn't be the same. It's like only using one type of brush or one type of color. So if you keep checking back into our video blogs, you'll be able to see each different hammer's shape, unique texture, and how it moves the metal to bring these pieces to life. I know whenever someone thinks of smiths, they usually think of blacksmithing. They think of big fire, big guy, or big strong woman, hammering away at hot metal in a dark place, and that's very true of blacksmithing. But for coppersmithing, it is the exact opposite. Instead of heating up a piece of metal and working it hot, what we do is we heat up the metal and work it cold. So if you see here, this piece that I've just been hammering on, this has become what's called work hardened. It means that the metal has been compressed, and all the little molecules in it are packed together. And if I were to keep hammering it, it would start to split and tear. Kind of like if you've ever taken a paper clip and bent it back and forth over and over again, eventually that piece would just snap. So to avoid that, we go through what's called the annealing process. And for annealing, bring up this torch, right? And I'm going to heat it up to its critical temperature. Now normally this would be glowing red, but because the sun is out and it's this beautiful day, it's going to come into a nice black color. We're probably not going to see the red heat in this light because it's too bright. But right about there, I can see where it's turning kind of an eggplant color. And you can see that is hot and ready to go. Right? I go from here into the water. Okay. And now the metal is annealed. I can see before if I tried to bend it, it would just break. And now I can just move it any which way I want. And you can also see that very, very typical copper red. Right? This is actually why coppersmiths are called redsmiths. Blacksmiths would work iron or steel, such like that. Redsmiths work in copper. Silversmiths would be working silver. Goldsmiths. And then we even have whitesmiths. A whitesmith is someone who does just finishing work or working cold metals. You know, but for us, we're redsmiths here. So we work copper and its alloys, and that's where we get our name from. Just to recap, today we covered a little bit about the peen of the hammer, the cross peen and the straight peen, which gives you the fundamentals for control when you're smithing. And we talked a little bit about the annealing process and how to relax the metal to keep it from breaking while you're forging. You know, if you come back and join us again, you know, we'll take these techniques and we'll make something. My name is Nile Fahmy. I'm from Tactical Tinker Art Studio here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I hope to see you back. Cheers.